Well, hello there. Welcome. It's SVPod. Red is asleep. He's not here. It's fine. Stanford Steve is in Seattle. Our buddy Tall Tom is on the way in. And as soon as this podcast wraps up, Seattle, Washington, you better batten down the hatches because the big man is on one. The floor, Steve, is yours.
Oh, man. This is not going to start any other college football podcast in America, Scott, but I'm so freaking happy, man. I am so happy for Stanford. You texted me. You said you were on Stanford. I said, God bless your great big heart. I didn't say what I normally say,
which is don't do it.
I had a feeling. I had to hold it in because it's been horrible the last 5 years. And I always say a successful season for Stanford football is when you beat Notre Dame and Cal. Now, I'm not asking for the other part, but to get that first step tonight is awesome. I absolutely love my family. I love you. I love the people we work with. But I fucking love beating Cal. I love it. It's so good. They're the worst. The worst. And this is so awesome. They came in, all I heard about, they put a freaking California banner on Palm Drive today. A California banner. So I hope they got to stop right by there and take it down. You want to get weird tonight, you go to Palo. There's freaking nerds everywhere ready to go. My buddies are walking in the game. They're texting. They're like, we're hanging. There's some issue with the 2ID notification thing to get in the game. I'm like, they're only at Stanford. Get in the stadium. And these kids are like, this is our first game of the year. I'm like, typical. It's November 22nd. Thanks for coming. But you know what? There's not a better one. There is not a better one to have. And to see the way they did it, 2 defensive touchdowns, no business being in the game, and to put an absolute hammer down in the second half. Again, the players, there's guys that haven't beaten them. And I never lost to them, thank God, or it would be way worse. And thank you, Frank Reich. I don't know what to say to that guy. He just was like at a Costco. Was like, yeah, I'll come coach for a year, and Andrew could figure it out. Thank you to Andrew. Yeah, he called him. He was at Costco. Andrew for putting in the time. You see the reaction with the fumble. It's me. All I thought it was me and you watching games. When there's a fumble, the first thing you say, ball. And oh man, it's a great night. It's an absolutely great night, and I was at an unbelievable game venue atmosphere. I'm sure we'll talk about, but I can't be happier. I'm so happy for those guys. There's nothing better than beating them.
Good night, everybody. We could end it right there. We could end it for you. We could end it right there.
I'm sorry. I just can't stand them.
You made that clear. Stanford 31, Cal 10. Now, the thing about those nerds that you speak of, Steve, is that they now have an axe. And much was made about the theatrics, a very stone-faced bunch of Cal Bears delivering the axe. And then it was like Revenge of the Nerds. It was a standoff between them, and then I guess here's the axe, and then I don't know what happens, but you're nerds. I say nerds. You're future writers of codes, inventor of apps, and future of the universe. They now have the axe in their possession.
Nerds know how to party too.
Do they?
Just remember that. Oh yeah.
I bet they do.
It's a great night.
Party favors. It is on in Palo Alto. It is on in the Pacific Northwest in Seattle as Steve's meandering his way back home. Welcome. It's SVPod. The best game of the day was the game where you were, because I thought this was interesting. We had Dusty Dvorak on last night, And I said, the old Rosillo line, what's the topic, right? Because I knew we were going to have them on. Well, we're going to talk USC, Oregon. Well, what's the topic? I mean, everybody knows USC needs to win to have a path. And Dusty said, yeah, what about Oregon? I said, what about Oregon? He goes, if they lose, that's 2 losses on their home field. What's their win? At Iowa? Cool. At Penn State, before Aller got hurt, before they fired their coach, I don't care. They're still sub 500 team. His point was if they were to lose this game, the ground beneath the Ducks' feet was not real solid, but they didn't. USC comes out right down the field, as impressive a drive, as poised a drive as you could have to take the lead, but then Oregon answers just like that. And it was the Benson punt return gave Oregon the lead that they never relinquished. From there, USC got down a couple scores. They kept getting back within 7. Had a chance late driving to try to get back within, make it a 1-score game, but they turned it over on downs. Oregon largely played from in control after they took control really in that second quarter. You were there. What stands out, Steve?
A lot going into it, Scott, because along the lines of Dusty, we did our college football playoff conversation today on game day, and I made a point in the meeting. I was like, listen, if we need somebody to talk bad about Oregon going into this game, knowing that we're there, I will do it. Because when you look at the resumes, the biggest problem I had with the rankings was from 7 to 10, you had Oregon ahead of Oklahoma, Notre Dame, and Alabama. They had 2 wins over teams that were over 500 this year. 2. Iowa and Minnesota. And I know you're Big Ten Scotty, but I don't think those are the best resume building wins in the world. And that was my issue. I needed to see it from Oregon. I get it. You got talent. You went to Penn State and won an overtime game when whatever. I still don't understand how they're still getting credit for a top 10 win there. We'll get to that later. You went to Iowa and you won, but Indiana came in and gave it to you. You needed a resume building win. And when I looked at those 4 teams, those 4 specifically, Alabama has 4 top 25 wins. Oklahoma just won 2 top 25 road games in crazy atmospheres.
Yeah, back-to-back games.
Notre Dame had a win over USC, and the ball is rolling as this win streak continues. So the idea that Oregon was ahead of those teams, I really had a problem with, and they had a lot to prove to me. And hearing, things are tight in Eugene as far as the injuries go, and I think in the Big Ten they are. They don't have the injury report. There's not a lot of info allowed in that conference, and you're trying to hear whispers and this and that and trying to get info. And on the other side, too, USC, Kamari Ramsey, their left tackle Page was out. So, everybody's talking about the point spread. That's all anybody wants to know. I'm like, it's a lot, man. Because when you looked into it further, Oregon's pass defense only allows 50% completion percentage, which is tops in the country. And then I dove in, and I'm like, all right, they played Wisconsin, Northwestern, Minnesota. All those teams are in the hundreds. The only team outside below 100 was Indiana, who gave them a dose, and Rutgers, who they beat the brakes off of, and we've seen Rutgers come back to
I had
reality.
Rutgers.
So
I had Rutgers in that game, getting the points.
In that game, yeah.
They didn't get there.
I remember that.
Go ahead.
I did. I'm sorry to bring it up. So there was plenty to prove on both sides, and when I made my pick today, I said Oregon averages 240 yards rushing. USC is not good against the run, and that's what I thought would be the factor in the game. But again, looking at USC, they won a road game against a ranked UCLA team in 2022, and before that, the last time they beat a ranked team on the road was 2016 when Sam Darnold went to Washington. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't pull the trigger. I love USC's personnel on the skill set, skill positions. Watching those guys in person was awesome. But again, it's self-inflicted wounds. They just continue to do it. It's not a big deal when you look at it, but to me it is 20-something yard field goal to end the half. He hits the upright.
Now, he had 17 of 18, I want to say, before that kick. And you're down there close. You had a goal-to-go situation. All right, you're going to settle for 3. Okay, fine. You get nothing.
Nothing. And that place goes into a swoon because now everybody's going to refill at halftime, and they're coming out for the second half, and it's on. Just the idea of SC with that talent was done.
But
it was done. That thing was going.
The thing about that kind of a score is it's one thing if you score on a drive, but a score like that is so seismic because it's like a knockdown out of nowhere, right? Like an uppercut that lands and all of a sudden the dude's down when there's a jolt of electricity through the crowd, right? You see Rogan at a UFC fight and it's, oh! Like that's what that punt return was. It was that. Because I felt that USC was more than trading. They were winning rounds, if we want to continue with this analogy. I don't know how far
agree.
I don't know how far down the road I need to go with this analogy, but they're winning rounds, they're trading, they're landing punches. Oregon knows they're in a fight. But that moment, and again, you're there, but it sounds like you're agreeing with me. It felt like one of those lightning strike, thunderbolt, whatever you want to call it, seismic plays in a game that from that point forward, USC it was wobbly. And the point you just made, I think, is an excellent one right before halftime where, all right, even if it's 28-17.
It's the littlest things, man.
Even though they're getting the ball coming out of the locker room. Like you needed 7. You didn't get it. All right, we'll take the 3. No, you'll get nothing. All the little things, man. Pennies and nickels become dimes and dollars. You just keep stacking them, keep stacking them. Well, in a game like that, in the end, USC is going to need to borrow some cash. And now, the Lincoln Riley experience continues where it is, right? It's more of the same. I can't help but think back to that press conference where they introduced it like they had just bought the future, right?
Yeah.
They introduced him like the future had just been attained. And they will not have been a playoff team. So I like Lincoln a lot. And we talked, I think, a little bit in our most recent pod about how you take a lot off the plate, you get the alignment, you get a GM, you get in this world that now we're living in, let him just be a ball coach. Well, this was your spot, and so this was a playoff game, and they're out. I think a number of teams today are out. USC's one of them. Georgia Tech's another. I don't want to punt on anything that you want to get to from Eugene either now or later. We certainly can.
No, I do feel like Oregon felt it. Like they knew they needed this one.
They had to. I think you could tell from Lanning. Like I felt like Lanning afterwards. Yeah. He wanted to, he's doing that thing about people playing Tennessee Tech. We all know what this is. It's going to go away because the SEC is going to play 9 conference teams, and we're not going to be playing Samford and the Citadel and whoever the hell else people are playing. Well, that's going to go away. But, I believe Lanning mentioned we're not playing Chattanooga Tech. No, you weren't. But your resume didn't have anything that those people in that conference had either, Coach. And I have nothing but respect, but you had nothing on your resume. Nothing approaching what those people from that conference that were playing, lower level squads today. And Steve, you mentioned it. You had nothing like Oklahoma had. You had nothing like Alabama had. Nothing. Well, now you do. Now you do. Are they still playing sort of a playoff game, though, next week at Washington?
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. And
they know. Okay. They know what they're going up against. I mean,
I liked what I saw from Oregon though today, Steve. I liked what I saw from Oregon. If I'll admit to wavering a bit on them, and then because of that Iowa game, and we knew going in that Iowa game was going to be exactly what it was, but then Minnesota's home road splits are ridiculous. So the fact that they beat the crap out of them, I'm like, okay. All right, you beat SC by 15. I liked how they looked. They looked apart. They looked like a playoff team to me today in their building. Now you go to Seattle next week.
Yep. But just going back and watching the tape, Scott, I did get a liking to Oregon in that Iowa game. When I went back and watched it, they ran it down Iowa's throat. You don't see that against Iowa. I mean, it wasn't pretty. The final score wasn't pretty.
Hey, look,
they ran for over 200 yards in that game.
But in the rain, they had to go on a drive to win the game. When it had to be won, they made a drive to win the game. So I'm not being disrespectful at all about that win. I give the credit for that win because I know what it was. I just was I was waiting for a game like today where Oregon looked like, you know what? You're not going to stop them. And USC's defense isn't great. That's certainly not its strength, not even close.
And that's the biggest takeaway I have, Scott, is you've watched this thing forever. And I feel like we've known each other during this whole Oregon thing. When, obviously Rich Brooks started it. I played against Bilotti's teams where it really got cranked up. And when Chip got it, it took another gear because Oregon, the uniforms took off. And everybody was just infatuated with the skill guys. And they had speed and all over the place. And then they got it, they were gone. And in the Mariota, the Darren Thomas, Masoli for a year. Like their skill guys were so dynamic and people just love to watch them and fall in love with them. And then as I go through the years, like when Stanford was able to beat them a couple times, and different USC teams would beat them. Washington got around to do it. Everybody talked about the skill guys. But when you could beat Oregon up front, that's when you beat them. When you can handle them up front, that's when you beat them. And that never gets talked about. And watching USC against USC last week, I'm like, they're down. They only had 7 points at halftime, I think. And they come back and they do it running the football in the rain in the Coliseum. Weird deal. But they gave it to Iowa. And I'm like, all right, this is a different USC. This is the best team up front Lincoln's had there. And then to see Oregon still do what they do in that building on the line of scrimmage, that was what I thought would happen, and that's what did happen. They ran the ball when they had to. They moved. They never really got stopped on offense. And they took, to your point, the first punch with SC. I thought they had to go up 7-0. They did for it to be something. But no, Oregon showed me a lot today, and I was happy for them because now I could stop talking about their resume and people think I hate them because I pointed out what their best wins are. That's all I'm doing.
People take shit real personally when you recite facts. How many times have you heard me say? How many times have you heard me say, we traffic in facts and opinions? And when the big man is just hitting you with facts and it upsets you, you really shouldn't let facts upset you. Now, in the opinion, if he says, and I think Oregon stinks, well, that can piss you off.
Never.
But if you say, here's who you beat, and it's not impressive because you've beaten two teams that have winning records, that's not an opinion. So that you can't let facts make you mad. Mm-hmm. So, that's kind of what happens, though. Fans get mad. They hear what they want to hear. Oh, you're just a Stanford guy. What was that final again tonight? 31-10.
31-10.
That was the final there. Axe in the possession of the farm.
Bring it back.
You just hate us because of Stanford. No, he's just telling you that you haven't beaten anybody. Now you have.
Yeah.
And now you better tighten that belt a cinch next week when you go to Seattle, buddy.
But also, if they go there, take care of business and play well on the road.
Go to Indy.
Things happen. They're looking at a home game in the playoff.
There you go.
That's.
Oh, I want that.
Oof.
I want that.
Ooh, buddy.
I want that. Give me that.
That'll be good.
I left my heart in Oregon. Give me that. Oh. Give me that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, because I forgot last time. I do, and I know you knew about it, but the new version of Shout in the stadium with our guy Neil is so good, and only Oregon could do it. Did we talk about it in this pod? I know I forgot to last time I was here, but the new Shout version, the video, they have Neil Everett in there, LaMichael
Nude?
James, Joey.
Is
no,
Neil?
No, Togas.
See, I think Neil would prefer. I guarantee Nude under that toga. I'll promise you that.
No, I would that. Yeah, but it's Joey Harrington, Mariota.
You talked
awesome.
about it. You talked about it.
Yeah,
I remember Neil. He told me the story when they filmed it. Said it was unbelievable.
Oh, I can't. I mean, and everybody, like, they have a countdown. There was a penalty or a turnover or whatever with 9 seconds left in the third, and they had it on the big screen, countdown to shout. And the kids, for little kids like 10, 11 years old, to do the clap and shout, knowing how old that is.
Right. They don't understand
awesome.
Blutarski, and it's probably better. It's probably better they don't. But you know what?
Yeah,
I mean, right. The sing-along's undeniable. I mean, call and response is as old as time, and it's good fun. Easy song to sing along to. Little bit softer now. So this game, we agree, says goodbye to SC's chances.
Yeah.
And I said another team that saw its chances go bye-bye was Georgia Tech tonight. And that's a team that I have had a hard time with all season. Last week when we had the mechanical for you, I came on after they beat BC, and I said, Steve, I want to lead with the credit because you won. And last week was a week where just figure out a way to win. We'll worry about the rest later. But when you're giving up 537 yards to a one-win team in BC, that's problematic, man. They had lost 9 in a row. 6 of the 9 were by double figures. You're down double figures to them in the fourth quarter. You just can't keep putting yourselves in those spots. Tonight, Steve, on their home field in Bobby Dodd, as big a home game as they've had in Atlanta in forever. And it's 28-0 Narduzzi. Now, it's a 14-point game, and the Dews or somebody, hot route. I mean, they call a fake punt, and I'm sitting there on the couch, and I say out loud to no one, what the fuck are they doing? Because I'm backed Pitt. And I couldn't pick, my mom out of a parade of panda bears. So I'm just rooting for a dub. And immediately after the fake punt, you're laughing hard right now because you've lived it.
I know exactly.
And you know what I'm doing. They're up.
They're up alone on the couch talking to no one.
They're up 14, and I know what let's do. Let's fake a fucking punt. Give up a touchdown. Now it's a 7-point game, and I'm sitting there going, they're going to lose in overtime, and I'm not going to win, and I'm gonna just quit. I'm quitting the segment. Well, they did give up a touchdown, but then they convert, they being Pitt, they convert a critical third down to keep a drive going, and now we're trying to run that 4-minute drill. Well, they didn't run the 4-minute drill because the next play after the third down and about 8 conversion from Heinschel, they hand it off, and Turner goes over 200 on the night. He takes it to the house, and Pitt gets a victory. The ACC's goofy. We'll try to paint that picture in a minute. But that's the knockout blow for Georgia Tech. That's it.
Yeah. What started out we got to remind ourselves just to, maybe after Champ Saturday, just to go back and talk about or relive like what we thought going into the year, because I can't get my Penn State Clemson prediction out of my head. But along those lines, like, we still thought Clemson had a chance. Georgia Tech beat them, and that was like Georgia Tech's jumping off point. Like, they did it. This team is real. Haynes King, Heisman, the whole thing. But this game today, Scott, is the absolute epitome. I think gamblers out there will know exactly what we're talking about. It's so hard to forget what a team looked like the week prior. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about Pitt. Like, we're there. Narduzzi comes on. We're talking about Pitt, this run defense, the stats. And before we get off it feels like the field, the game day where Aaron Donald pushes Pat out of the field. Jeremiah Love's gone for 55 yards. There's a pick six. It's 14-0. Pitt's done. That game's over. And for Pitt to come back on the road, as you explained, in that atmosphere, that's what makes college sports just completely awesome. Because, I mean, on our desk, I think it was a clean sweep of Pitt. Or I should say of Georgia Tech, and I'm just sitting there, and Reese peeks over at me. We always do the look over at each other. I'm like, you think? And I think Reese gave the hail to Pitt today after the guys made the clean sweep of Georgia Tech. And when I go back and watch Georgia Tech, I'm like, this defense, they can't do it. They can't do it. And I love their offense. I might love Buster Faulkner, their offensive coordinator, more than I love Haynes King for what he's done for his school. With how good that guy is, pre-snap shifts and checks, motion, that all the shit you got to prepare for. But the glaring problem was their defense, and Pitt came right to your point, 28-0.
Well,
done.
Well, we like King a lot, but I mean, there's a pick six, there's a pick that leads to a score. I mean, that's how you end up down 28-0 on your home field.
Yeah.
To their credit, they fight back, and they've done it all year. They fight back to within 7, but then Turner for Pitt, 201, and was like
backup.
I think it was a 58-yarder that made it a 42-28 game. So that now means, and I don't know, I'm just guessing also really. Virginia has a game against Virginia Tech next week in Charlottesville, Scott Stadium. Fill it, Who's fans. How hard is this? Jesus Christ. Go to the game. And if they win, they're going to the ACC championship game. And you talk about feeling it, Steve. Talk about high stress. You know that James is coming, right? And you know that the odds of him resurrecting what Tech has been pretty good. And this is your chance to beat them, knowing that in this century, you've beaten them only a couple of times. Mm-hmm. And so I'll just tell you right now, blind, I'm going to have Virginia Tech in winners plus the points. Because it's a classic spot where one team's gripping the wheel, white knuckle, and the other has their bowl game right here. We can ruin their season. And I mean, you heard the joy in my man's voice coming on the air tonight when they got to beat their rival and Stanford beats Cal. That's the spot Virginia Tech's in. The difference is they're not at home, but Virginia has a direct, clean shot. We win this game, we go to Charlotte, we have a chance to play for the playoff. I have absolutely no idea who the other team would be or what the path is. Is it SMU?
I believe SMU beats Cal, and they're in.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable to me. So SMU could go to the playoff for a second straight year. Okay. Yep. I mean, sure. Meanwhile, Miami, Pitt still has they needed help. But what Narduzzi told you all, well, he didn't tell you guys. We said to the world last week before Notre Dame, we can lose by 100. All I'm worried about are those last two games in the conference, which it's not exactly what you want to say before you play Notre Dame and what's kind of a big game for your fan base. Mm-hmm. But anywho, you didn't lose by 100. Notre Dame nearly won by 100 today. Good gaggly-goo. 70-7 over Syracuse. I'll just say it here. Jeremiah Love, he gave a little Heisman pose. He was on SportsCenter with us. I asked him, what do you look around at? Because, it's not officially his last game there. They could have a playoff game there, but he's a first-day pick, and he's gone. So, he's so good. It's stupid. What's worse?
I made my case for him to win the Heisman the last couple days when I did shows. You're with me? Ready? He had 1,135 yards coming into today.
And he had like $178, I think,
71, today? Yeah.
Okay.
And my point was he could match that number, 1,135, against Syracuse and Stanford. So he's underneath it after today. But my point was he's going to have that wow thing. He had the wow factor today. And this idea of the winner of the Big Ten title game of Ohio State and Indiana, the winning quarterback's going to win the Heisman. I really wonder about that because when I start thinking about that game, that's going to be a defensive game.
Agreed.
And I don't think the winning quarterback is going to be that impressive. Now, I'm taking Marcel Reed out of the mix, knowing he's got a bigger stage than anybody. But at the odds, 30-1, I got Jeremiah Love on Wednesday.
Okay.
To win the Heisman. Right. So,
is it worse?
I just thought.
Is it worse to lose 70-0 or 70-7?
70-0.
Getting blanked is worse.
With a 7? Yeah.
Yeah, but then you get 7, and it's like, oh, look at them.
But you didn't lose by 70.
There's that.
Losing by 70 is hard. That's hard to do.
Notre Dame had 49 points on like 200 yards of offense. It was. I didn't mean to derail everything here. They're sort of ACC adjacent, but them and Miami. I think that's what I did. I thought about Miami, and that made me off-ramp to Notre Dame.
C.J. Carr took the field. They were up 21-0. He didn't play a snap.
That's what I'm getting at. Hard to do. Hard to do. So before we came on, I'm like, what's Miami? They're going to not go to the ACC championship game, but is enough happening around them that they could sneak around the old chicken coop?
They could have really used. They could have really used the Utah loss when you're looking at teams ahead of them. But we talked about this today on Game Day. You know, when is it going to be finalized? And when, they have those groups of teams where they look at them at packs of 3 or 4. When the Miami and Notre Dame resumes are done, that's where I think the head-to-head's going to come. So if they are close enough, where I'm saying, what's Notre Dame now, 9? If they get to 12 or 11 or even whatever.
They're never not putting Notre Dame in the playoff. Never.
Oh, no, I'm not. I just think Miami's going to get validated more.
Because of these Big 12. Because they beat them.
Utah, yes, and Utah's. Did Arizona State win? They were up 7.
They ended up winning by more than that. 42-17.
Utah's
what's their best win?
Utah's only top 25 win is against Arizona State without Sam Leavitt. That's it.
And they got obliterated by Texas Tech. Miami doesn't have a bad loss like that. I get it. They lost to Louisville by 3, and Beck threw a bunch of picks. And they lost to SMU, who, by the way, now is in overtime at their field, and now they got to get a chance to play in the playoff.
Correct.
But somehow that was a bad loss. That's bullshit. I'm throwing up the U. I want them in just because I think they're talented. I don't know who that means.
That's the 5.
Huh?
What if that's the 5-12? Miami at Eugene.
Oh, buddy. Think how sick that is. Just as a fan. And I get it.
Yeah.
That would be at the expense of some other fan base, which means you think I hate him. It has nothing to do with it. I don't even know who you are. This is a guess the blind resume game. I just want Miami in. I want them in. And they'd be scary.
Real quick, while we're talking about the little guys.
Yeah.
With Tulane as the front runner now. And, the SEC people talking about how the little guys, or now the ACC, where they want another team in, and they don't want the little guys in. And, it came up about the playoff and how it's not really 12 spots. There's a G5, and now you got Notre Dame, who's an independent, so there's really only 10 spots. What do you think about the little guys' argument of, well, Tennessee got in last year and they got beat by 40 at Ohio State.
Yeah.
So why can't we get in?
1,000%.
By 40.
Right? I have zero appetite for the complaining from people. One of the biggest sells of the NCAA basketball tournament is the idea of Cinderella. Now, we all understand why a Valpo doesn't exist in college football because there's 5 dudes on the floor. They play both ways. There's a margin there. You don't have to be, you could just the number of people required. It's just math. College football requires far too many people for a Valparaiso situation to ever play out in college football in the playoff. Nevertheless, the whole notion of this sport is it has to have some ability for inclusion for that, or why do they exist at all? And, of course, the odds of Tulane or James Madison beating somebody on the road in the playoff are monumentally high. And you can complain about the fact that they're going to be a 20-something point dog. But as you just said, Tennessee went to Columbus after Ohio State lost to Michigan, and their fan base wanted to fire their coach, and they beat the snot out of Tennessee. Dudes took their shirts off to let you know it wasn't cold, and then they were ice cold, dead as a bucket of chicken. They were toast. Finished. So, you know, I'm with you. I have zero issue with the inclusion of the small guy. Because the big guys are going to get their ass kicked by the best too.
Yeah.
So it's Tulane's the odds on now over James Madison?
Yeah, I believe so. James Madison's strength of schedule is brutal.
Yeah, they don't
it's in the 100s.
James Madison is my on-ramp to say this. Jimmy Rogers, head coach, Washington State, right? I believe
so. Old South Dakota State.
Correct.
Yeah.
That team has its league, the legs kicked out from under them, right? Mm-hmm. Them and Oregon State, they're just sort of like the zombie Pac-12 wandering the plains.
They're playing for a second time next week.
Correct, to get bowl eligible. I just want to say to Washington State, I see you. I salute you. You guys went to Oxford, Mississippi, a playoff team, lost by 3. I presume you went back to the Palouse. At some point, you went to Charlottesville, Virginia, potentially a playoff team, and lost by 1. I presume you went back to the Palouse, which, as Steve has explained to us, isn't near anything.
No.
What a geographical oddity. 2 weeks from everywhere. Then they came back to the East Coast and went to Harrisonburg, Virginia. I can't even ponder that itinerary from Pullman to Harrisonburg to play again a team at least on the periphery of the playoffs, and you lost by 4. I don't pretend to know a ton about you all, except that you all demonstrate a shit ton of heart and fight and moxie and every good thing there is in sports, traveling more than just about anybody to play 3 playoff teams that aren't in your conference and giving every single one of them the what for. I think that's phenomenal. And it's worth a mention as you get set to play Oregon State for the second time in 4 games, where a win would get you a bowl eligible. I'm not anti-Beaver. I'm pro-Cougar because I want these guys to get a chance to have another game after that, just for what they've shown. They're in all those games.
I'm so happy you said that, because when we went to Georgia Ole Miss had played Wazzu the week before, and I'm watching Wazzu. I'm like, this team is not terrible. They're not terrible.
Far from it.
And they're leading in the third quarter, and Ole Miss, Trinidad threw for a touchdown, and he scrambles for a touchdown, whatever, vice versa. And they get 2 quick scores, and that's the end of the game, and they win by 4, right? 24-20? 24?
Yeah, no, they beat them by 3. It was Virginia.
Yeah.
I said they beat Virginia. Virginia beat it by 1. I beg your pardon. Yeah, they beat Carolina by 1. They beat them by 2, 22-20 on a safety.
Yeah,
it was a 20-20 game, and they beat them on a safety.
Yeah, so for Wazoo, I've always had an affinity for that place after being there, playing there. It's an awesome fan base, and to see them get ripped out from underneath, I'm totally with you. I absolutely love them this week at James Madison because I knew they could play defense. They played defense, and when I'm thinking about it on the board, we got our Superdog thing, and I'm like, I think Wazoo could win. So I put them in my Superdog, and I didn't put them on the board. And I honestly thought they could win that game because it was just too much for JMU, and they were.
Well, they had the lead.
I wanted to go back and I know. Did they have a chance after they lost the lead? There was like 6 minutes left. When JMU broke that 50-yard run to take the lead 24-20, I wasn't sure what happened after that. I was leaving the game and flying. So, but yeah, I'm with you, man. Shout out to Wazoo. That's what the hell they did, and they lost to Oregon State, who is not great. They got rid of our guy
10-7.
Akey. They got rid of our guy Akey, who was the interim.
Bubba.
Which I don't think happens a lot. But I think it was after the Virginia game or the Ole Miss game was that game against Oregon State. They were out 4 offensive linemen. They lost 10-7, as you pointed out. So for Wazoo in these days of the portal and NIL to be able to get up off the deck and come back, I'm rooting for them next week, to your point. That'd be nice to see.
Hit full play-by-play there at the bottom, because I honestly don't know the drive after the touchdown. What happened? Washington State downs, but did they get anywhere? Not really. No. But I mean, that's been kind of their script. They fight like warrior poets and then end up losing close games against teams that are in the playoff mix.
I'm gonna guess they flew over Harrisonburg to Dulles and then had to drive like 2.5 hours.
That seems like...
Which sucks.
Yeah, but I mean, the Palouse is how many hour drive from anything?
You can get to Spokane in hour.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. I didn't
Moscow,
know.
Idaho's right over the border.
Sure.
Amidst all this, I don't want to take any credit away from JMU because what they've done is awesome. Just sucks that Louisville has crapped the bed. And they were tied with them in the fourth quarter, and that's their only loss.
So an average team, according to their head coach, John Summerall, he's just trying to light a little fire there in his guys. I get it. They go to the Link, which is a mosh pit on Sundays, not as much on Saturdays, and they get the victory there.
You putting the Gandhi's head up there on winners.
We sure did. Didn't get there. Did not get there. Can I rapid fire some teams here, some results, some things I wrote down? I thought the OU-Missouri game was scary as hell off the back-to-back road wins in Knoxville, in Tuscaloosa. Missouri gets Prabula back, Drink's a really good coach. That's a capable team. Oklahoma's defense is as advertised, but I got real worries if that's what their offense is going to look like. I mean, they hit basically it's a 3-0 Missouri lead more than midway through the second quarter. They hit a 90-yard touchdown. Then they get the ball back short field and they score again, and the defense makes it stand up. It's just the way I complain about Denver with too many quarters where you're just kind of in terms of a playoff team that could do damage, go on a run, your offense is going to need to be a more consistent threat. Or maybe Missouri's defense just played well today. I don't know. They did what they had to do, and they won in a tricky spot. But are you with me there? Like, being a big play offense is great, but it just means that you've got to get a big play or else you're punting a lot.
They're not consistent enough.
I guess that's what I'm saying.
That's what it is. I took them today because I when I looked at Missouri, when I watched them back, Hardy rushes for 300 against Mississippi State last week. Go back. I'm like, this.
You're not doing that on Oklahoma.
And when I go back and watch further, Missouri really struggled against the two best run defenses they faced. Hardy ran for 52 against Alabama, 58 against Auburn. And then I put it to Oklahoma, and I'm like, this ain't happening. And that whole game flips on the blocked field goal.
Yep.
Missouri has a chance, and they block the field goal, and that's where your big play comes in. Now it's 7-3. Now it's kicking off, field position. Oklahoma gets it. It's 14-3. They get a field goal, not really. And Oklahoma's just, they dictate with their defense. Now, when you get to the playoff, can you win like that? I don't see it. I don't see it. To your point about the offense being just so inconsistent. And I thought Greg did a great job on the broadcast of pointing out situations where Mateer just won't take the easy one. He won't take the easy flat throw and let his guys. Their skill guys are legit.
Well, that's
like,
look. The 90-yard pass wasn't a
ball.
It wasn't a bomb. I mean, you get the ball moving in space. I don't know. I like them. Love the defense. Yeah. I just think it's a short stay in the playoff if your offense is going to not have more gears.
I will bet you.
Okay.
Right now.
I'm listening.
As ugly as the game was in Baton Rouge tonight, you will have Baton Rouge next week in Norman. Guaranteed.
That's a tough side to back this year. It's a tough side.
That's going to be Coach Wilson will. We just talked about how many teams trying to spoil another team's season.
Right.
That's the ultimate. And
their offense is far
correct.
Their offense is consistent. It's just bad.
Yeah,
they're being the Tigers and LSU.
I don't know how you say it. Both have great defenses and not consistent offenses. I don't want any piece, but I know who you'll have.
That's fine. Winners suck. I just keep taking shitty underdogs. Cool. What a fun thing this is. See the way Carolina managed to not get there? That's a good time. Fake field goal, give up a long one touchdown and a 2-point conversion. That's cool. Vandy rolls against a Kentucky team that when they're bad, they're awful, but when they're competitive, they're a pain in the ass. They stomp them. They got Tennessee next week. Is there a path for Vandy? I don't think so.
They only if multiple teams in front of them lose.
Okay.
And that's a shame. 10-2 in the SEC, man.
That's rough, right? I mean, you have your all-time best season, and it's gonna run into stop signs that not an on-ramp. Almost.
You know what I would love if Vandy and Utah don't get in the playoff, they should play in a bowl game. That's a very good bowl game.
Yeah, but then dudes are like, no thanks. You mentioned Utah.
I don't know about those two teams.
Yeah, you know what? You make a great point. A great point. Culture.
Mm-hmm.
That's Lee and Whittingham. Maybe they look to appeal to their guys and go, listen, this
lot of similarities.
Yeah, there's a chance here to leave on a good note. Utah had to come back not once but twice against Kansas State, and they somehow do. They score a touchdown, get a 3-and-out, and a Dampier long run and a touchdown in inside 2 minutes to absolutely steal one from Kansas State. I didn't get why they were ranked as high as they were to begin with. But they miraculously stay alive. Although I don't know how alive they really are. But they're a lot. What do you got for me?
No, I was just going to say, I texted our guy Fleming was calling that game, and I saw the score. I gave out Utah today just because I thought about what they did last week and what Kansas State did last week. And he's like, I'm like, what's going on there? Because I didn't have any eyes on it. He's like, Kansas State had 261 yards rushing at halftime. I'm like, against Utah? So I need to go back and watch that one. But, yeah, that was a loop.
I mean, it was Kansas State played from the lead, then Utah gets back, and then, okay, we're good. We got you. No, you don't. Kansas State back ahead, double figures. The whole comeback actually kind of got a jump start on a 2-point conversion. It gets picked and returned 4-2 for Utah, and then they score, again, touchdown, 3-and-out touchdown, and that's as wild a game as there was this week. But
yeah,
they lost to BYU. BYU goes into historic Nippert. LJ Martin ran for a zillion yards for BYU. They're tough, man.
Yeah.
They're tough. They play. I mean, it's like an NFL blueprint of a team. Physical defense, run the football. Their quarterback, I mean, Bachmeier threw for like 120 yards. Okay. But somehow it's enough. And since Cincinnati had a rough night. They turned it over twice. One of them, as they approached the red zone in the fourth quarter, they missed not one, not two. They missed 3 field goals on the night, and their kicker had been great all year. So
they went off sides on a 4th and 2, and BYU was punting.
Correct. They were about to get the ball back. And you know, like they threw the stat up on the game broadcast. That's been a giant problem. Cincinnati is one of the most penalized teams in the country. And against BYU in a game where you need to be clean, you can't have a penalty like that on a 4th and 2. You can't turn it over twice, once in the red zone driving, and you can't miss 3 field goals in a game that's a one-score game after you score there in the fourth quarter. So, you know, BYU, I feel like they're a little bit like Georgia Tech with me, where I watched how they beat Arizona on the road in a game they trailed by 10 in the fourth quarter, and I had Arizona, and they beat them in overtime, and I'm like, okay, great. And I watched how they beat Iowa State in a game where I had Iowa State in winners, and Iowa State's up double figures. And BYU scores at the end of the first half, and then they start getting ahead, and then they boat race them. I didn't give them out against Cincinnati, but it's like my doubts of them are more that I just think they're limited in terms of what they'd be against the true heavyweights. And I felt like we saw that when they went to Lubbock, you know? Because if you're that one-dimensional offensively, good luck. Good luck against a great defense. And Texas Tech is a great defense. And Cincinnati isn't. But BYU going to get a chance to play for the Big 12 title game if they handle UCF, and UCF is not exactly a well-oiled machine at the moment, right?
Fair point.
Okay.
To put UCF.
But I've got that right as it relates to BYU. They win, and they'll play Texas Tech.
A lot of pressure on Lubbock.
Right, because you've already done it once.
Correct.
People always say, it's like in college basketball, they always say it's hard to beat a team 3 times back in the day of the true round robin. But I always thought, you know what? It's a whole lot easier to beat a team for a 3rd time when you've already beaten them twice. See how that works? Again, just math.
Just math.
Can I hit you with some math on Ohio State? I just jotted these down. I mean, it's Michigan week. That's all that matters. What have they lost? 4 in a row to them? Ohio State this year at home in the Big Ten. 4 opponents. They gave up 36 points. They won by a total of 134 points. That means they gave up less than 10 a game in the Big Ten at home, and they won by basically 5 touchdowns a game. Not stressed significantly this season in the Big Ten, but now you get the game that has been their kryptonite lately.
It's all on one. I've said.
Are you guys going there? Have you announced that? Or
we have not announced yet.
Okay. I'm not announcing, just to be clear.
No matter what they have done or did or want to do, there's still this wall they have to go through, and that wall is in Ann Arbor, Michigan on Saturday. And I can't wait to see it, because we were talking all weekend, and, you know, this feels like the most lopsided game. And I'm like, hold on. Think about last year. Michigan had to go to Columbus. They didn't have a quarterback, and they won.
They sure did.
So gloves are off, man. I'm not doubting the underdog in that game.
Michigan,
I can't wait to see that game.
Michigan came in the snake pit today. Terps scored first, then Michigan scored a lot more after that. They're banged up. They left a couple of their best guys in Ann Arbor who didn't make
Marshall
the trip.
And Haynes. Yeah.
And they had a couple of other significant players that left this game banged up. But the point you're making is the right one. Whoever's in those maize and blue winged helmets in Ann Arbor next Saturday, they've got the silver bullets a little bit spooked lately. They just got them a little bit on edge after winning 8 consecutive games. Ohio State dominating that team. Michigan got them in the snow in 21. Then they got him in Columbus. Then they got him at home. Then they got him in Columbus. Man, 4's a lot. It ain't 8. But the way that Day's been grinding about it, woo, buddy, as dominating as Ohio State's been.
And as tricky as that one can be, think about the circus. The absolute circus that Alabama is going into.
Yeah, Iron Bowl.
They need to win a game.
Yep.
But even more so, where Ole Miss has to go to win a game. That one's Friday, buddy. That is an all-out circus.
Agreed.
You got it all.
Yeah.
In Starkville on Friday.
So I was having a conversation with my wife at dinner tonight.
Oh.
See if this makes sense to you. I said, we're going to be down in Florida, a bunch of family coming in. We got plans of dinner on Wednesday night. I said, you know what? Wednesday night to me is the best part of the whole week. She said, better than Thursday? I said, hear me out. And I said,
Valley New Year.
I said, Wednesday night, Valley New Year, by the way, is what he just said. For those that know, out by
some kid shouted out Valley New Year in UG today at Oregon.
Oh, that's awesome. That's Ansonia.
I turned around. I was like, what? He goes, I know what it is Wednesday night.
Out by Groton.
We got some light lifers out here. SVP or Rosillo days, buddy. Oh, buddy.
Valley New Year's Wednesday. I said Wednesday's the best part of Thanksgiving week because it's all still in front of you. And you get to think about how good Thursday is. You get a little early Detroit football. Some people eat early. We eat late, so we're cooking during that 4 o'clock window. We're eating late in that game. And then you got leftovers Friday, but her point is Friday's still pretty good too because it's a day before the weekend. My thoughts are that I'm this weirdo that I love looking forward to things, and then as they're happening, the thing that I look forward to, I almost start getting depressed in the middle of the thing I looked forward to happening because I can feel it slipping away. Does that make any sense at all?
Yeah, totally.
And she said,
that's how we all think.
So you like Christmas Eve better than Christmas? I said 1,000%. The magic of it and all of that you've done, the build up to that moment, it's still in front of you. And so once it's in the process of happening, but then as I said, Thursday as it's happening, you still got Friday, and you and I are both on the same page that Friday meal, when done correctly, even better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And all that Friday nonsense now, all of a sudden, that Egg Bowl, which used to just be, let's see what kind of stupidity happens between these teams. Let's see how many personal fouls there can be. Let's see what the pirate draws up, swing your sword and all this. What's Lane got? Now we're going to make a decision about what we're doing the day after. Steve, if you have to make an announcement about making an announcement, haven't you already made an announcement?
I have never made an announcement to make an announcement, so I'm not familiar with those grounds. But, I mean, you want to talk about a buildup? Oof.
And that's Bulldog Super Bowl.
Oh, and
you're gonna want that cowbell, baby. Foo Fighters.
And I don't want to rain on anything, but Mississippi State fans know when they've had bad teams. This isn't one of those Mississippi State bad teams.
No.
They're capable.
And they've been this close. They've been this close.
Yeah.
I know how bad you felt for Texas, having to go there and everything, but I felt worse for them in that particular ball game. But, buddy, we got a lot going. Feast week.
I got a question for you.
I'm sitting here waiting for it.
Now there was a huge, 14 or 15 years where A&M and Texas didn't play.
Right.
Then we go all the way back, and I think it's, was that Justin Tucker that made the kick for Texas that beat A&M in the last one, right?
I think that was the last game they played.
Yeah.
Before they
convened.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Can you remember? We're old. Can you remember A&M being favored in Austin in that game?
Never once.
Right?
I mean, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I don't remember it. I was trying to.
It's awesome.
Figure out what do we have a early Ohio State Michigan number?
I saw no, because I was looking. Wow, A&M 2.5.
Okay.
Ohio State 12.5, Georgia 14.
Ohio State's giving 12.5 points.
Yeah.
Wow.
Corn versus crops.
That's Nebraska versus Iowa for those that don't know. And we don't know which one's crops or corn.
I said crops. CROPS, not
props.
What other people might. Yeah.
When we were flying back over from Las Vegas, I was going to point out I looked down and saw some crops, but you were sleeping like the baby Jesus in the back of the bird, so I did not wake you up.
I was.
You were gone, baby, gone. Corn and crops. I'm taking a bye week on winners, so I mean there'll be about 1,000 teams I'd like, but I'm taking a bye week.
I feel a window where Charlie can make an appearance now.
I thought, is that right now that there's that little gap?
Yeah.
We might bring him back because who's going to tell me
on the beach, shirts off. Come on.
Nude. All right, that's it. I might have to. They're so bad. Everything loses. Not Stanford though. That was a winner. I have a couple of teams I just want to mention.
Yeah.
Acknowledge a couple of teams. Wisconsin. Good for you.
Hell yeah. Wando.
You guys said,
stand up.
We're running it back with Fickle. Everybody got mad. And then you beat somebody at home. Who was it? Washington?
Washington.
In the snow, I think.
Yeah.
And then you get former coach Brett Bielema in there with Illinois. And I don't know if you win something. You probably win like a pig's foot or something, or like a goose's elbow. I don't know. There's so many trophies in the Big Ten. It's hard for me to know what it is. Maybe you win a fishbowl at Wando's. Go see. But
go see, yeah.
They win another game at home. It's been a brutal year. Salute. In that same vein, Penn State beat the brakes off the guy that supposedly, for a little bit there, that's Pat Kraft's guy because they were together at Temple, and Franklin wasn't good enough against top 10 teams, but this guy, what's his record against the top 20? Neither here nor there. I like Matt Rule. It feels like I'm saying mean things about him. I'm not. Again, these are just facts. Record against the top 20. That's a fact. And this is also a fact. 37-10, Penn State. I never dreamt in my life that I would be in a position to show pity isn't the right word, but compassion for a 5-6 Penn State team this football season that never once seemed to be on the menu. And yet here we are. So that means Penn State with a win next week could go to a bowl, which is it was kind of like Clemson last week when you're thinking, hey, Clemson could go to a bowl game. You're thinking bowl game.
I picked those two teams to go to the national championship.
They were Steve's national championship. Hey, listen, I was all in on Clemson too. I'm not saying that he was some dope and I'm a smart guy. I wasn't. But I just thought that those teams showed us resilience, stay in the fight, all the things we talk about. And that's why. As for all the SEC teams that played outside, opponents, in the immortal words of Mike Tomlin, we do not care. Because now we can shift our eyeballs down the road to Georgia Tech, Clemson, South Carolina. That's an interesting one. Always, of course, Bama and Auburn. As Steve said, absolute three-ring circus. All the rivalry games. And all that they'll mean. I mean, Alabama being ranked 10th means there's no wiggle room. You got to have it.
You might have 17 winners.
If I put 17 team down.
Utah at Kansas, 12 Eastern, Friday afternoon. You have the Jayhawks for your lungs.
Well, I had the Jayhawks today at noon in Ames, and that was not the right side.
Yeah, they didn't get off to a good start. They got to be a first-half team.
That was not a winning selection. The Friday games are spectacular.
Yeah.
I was told we're going to go snorkeling. I'm like, not me, buddy. You guys go look at some fucking fish. I'll be over here watching the. Wait, the Egg Bowl's a nooner?
Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute. What is this? That's supposed to be at night.
No.
What is that?
Look at that triple header.
Oh, my God.
And you got corn and crops, too?
That game is going to be 13-10 no matter what.
I think 9-8.
Fine. Virginia Tech is that day, too? With Wahoo Wah with a direct line to the ACC championship game? What are we doing? I can't make sense of any of this.
You can get really weird late with, what's the Arizona State thing called?
Territorial Cup.
Yeah.
It's for a boot. Somebody's boot. It's for Jim's boot. Old Earl's boot. Right?
UCF
it's the dusty boot.
UCF has to be getting 40 from BYU.
Not enough. It's for the old dusty boot. That'd be a good one. Just get an old dusty boot and put it on a thing. Yeah, the folks from Palo Alto and the folks from Berkeley ready to fight over a weapon.
Tech, Virginia, Saturday.
Oh, maybe I'm looking at. Maybe I was just looking. I see what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this at the next week's slate in terms of ranked. I just thought that was all Friday. I thought there's no way this could all be Friday. I might have just lied to all of you. So check your local listings. Where are you again? Seattle? It's only 9 o'clock out there. It's like we're in Vegas.
9:40.
Whatever. It's like we're in Vegas. It's always 10:30. Nuclear warfare.
Tall Tom's text.
What's Tall Tom got to say? Go to Moonshine Barbecue. How far away is that?
Oh, no. Tall Tom is here. Here's his text.
Okay.
I'm in the bar room. Or wait. The bar room is wearing fancy clothes. I'm like a turd in a punch bowl.
That's fine. He'll be easy to spot. He's a former male model that's put on a few pounds. It's fine. Be comfortable in your own skin. You're heading back, and then we go to New York for Monday Night Football.
Mm-hmm.
Not San Francisco. It's a long story. And then it's Thanksgiving week, which means I'm just telling everybody right now there is no midweek pod.
No.
It's Thanksgiving week.
Just tweet Scott. At any question, he'll answer it.
It'll be like a week-long TED Talk.
Yeah.
Or whatever else they call it. Isn't that what they call it? Ask me AMA. Ask me anything.
How great are the people tweeting the screenshots of listening to SVPod while getting the call from the 888 or the 833 number? It's unbelievable.
It was one of those things.
You've touched a lot of hearts with that rant.
Well, it resonated clearly because it's the old Michael Jackson song, "You Are Not Alone." And I think people were happy to find that they said, I'm glad this happens to famous people. And, of course, I'm looking around for who's the famous person. Oh, I'm just a guy on cable late at night. I'm just a guy just like you who is getting harassed by bad actors that are actually just AI people, not real people. But amazingly, there was a follow-up this week after that rant. I got the call that rates have came down. That's bad AI. You need to tighten up your syntax. Rates have came down, and Steve, this is really big. Underwriting. They've loosened it up. So the implication here is that I have shitty credit, but they're still willing to give me $68,000. I just need those last few pieces of information for the file to the loan application that does not exist. Let's get a couple things straight here. Number one, I used to have shitty credit, but now it's sparkling. The days of me boosting a Movado watch from Bloomingdale's and never paying for it, those are long ago in the rearview mirror, and the statute of limitations has run out. So either I paid for it or I didn't, but nobody's got anything to hold over my head with that. Number two, since then, we're paying on time, paying off balances. Our credit starts with an 8, I think. So we're good there. Good. I think so. I've worked hard at that. If you've ever lived in I think Russillo and I talked about this in the bleak period. When you've ever had creditors chasing you around, if you get to a place,
real ones,
yes,
the real voices,
correct, not AI generated calls,
no.
Real people that want to know, where's my money, man?
Not the ones reading a script.
Guys that'll break thumbs. All right, if you've lived it and you get to a place where your funds are straight and you can pay things off, buddy, that's what you do. So anyway, my credit is solid, but I have not applied for loans. It was amazing to see how many people just had those. Actually, it's not amazing. This is just the world we live in. It's all just bot AI generated bullshit, and everybody's got an entire screenshot of numbers from fake places of AI voices. I just love I went back and listened, and I love the fake little laughs and stumbles over words. I love it. That part I actually give you credit for. Look at you out there, just tweaking the paradigm. Is that it? Changing up the game plan, the script. No, you can't call and say, hello, we are calling to offer you this. No, it's got to be this thing about the loan. I can't just find some of the information. And I know I had it. Fuck you. Leave me alone. Hassling me week before Thanksgiving. Got Christmas lights up, Steve.
Ladders?
Yeah, I had used a step ladder for the one. And breaking news. At the Strosniders, naturally, because I needed some more strings of lights. I got these two trees side by side that I went red and green lights on. We do the white lights on the big trees, but we got some red and green, kind of sort of candy cane-y kind of a thing, or Christmas colors, red and green. Holly, more like holly. Anyway, I've got however many strands that I need. Why do those work 1 year and never again? What's that about? That's bullshit. those lights need to work more than 1 year and not have it be the next year you plug it in and like 29 of them in a row work, then 26 don't, then 12 work, then 4 don't. What are we doing? Why is this?
I know.
Why is this
cycle?
No, it's
lack of cycle.
Well, it's just planned obsolescence, I believe they call it. They just build it in to fail. That's not very Christmassy.
I'm not trying to poke fun at you being older than me at all. But think about this. It's been going on for our whole life.
That is true.
No one has fixed that.
Well,
no one.
They could, but they won't. They can generate fake phone calls about loans that don't exist, but they can't create a strand of lights that works for more than 1 year.
And we're going to get Scott to come back to Strosniders and buy another round of lights.
You're damn right that's what I did. But guess what else I bought when I was there with my young son, who just swept a doubleheader. Close games. Shout to the Broncos. They battled.
Oh.
2 2-point wins. Got to tighten up our 2-point conversions right now. They are very iffy. Anyway, I'm with my youngster, and he said, Dad, I want that. You want to know what that was? 8-foot inflatable Santa. And I'm like,
you got it.
I said, hell yeah. My whole life, I'm like, I'm not some redneck with inflatable yard stuff. Not me. Guess what I am now? That. Maybe I judge too harshly. Redneck? No. Festive. Festive yard. Adorned with white lights, red and green lights, because they're brand new and they work. And now, soon to be coming to the neighborhood, 8-foot tall inflatable Santa by Ronco. He said, can we get the reindeer? I'm like, we're not getting the reindeer. Drew the line there. Santa, that's it. People in the house are psyched. We didn't put that out yet. To me, the full Griswold.
Don't put that.
The full Griswold is after Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
After Thanksgiving.
That's all I ask.
I have been listening to Holly and all of the various series. Yeah, they're on. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Stop.
Everywhere you go. Come on. Have some schnapps. Dive in the deep end. Put on Nat King Cole.
Friday. You can get me Friday.
And then I'm gonna sing your favorite song, Blue Christmas.
Terrible. You know what? You could sing Blue Christmas tonight. You won't even get me mad. That's how happy I am.
Because the final score on the farm was
31-10. Suck it. I got a couple shout outs.
I wanted that to be the out, but after suck it, Steve has a few tips of the cap to give. Fire away.
Scott, Thursday I left my house at 5 a.m.
Okay.
Do the math. I arrived in Eugene, Oregon at 7 p.m. Pacific.
Okay, that's 10 p.m. You left at 5 a.m. Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough day.
Yeah.
That's a 17-hour day.
Thanks to
Mechanical?
Delta Air. Oh, yeah. Mechanical. As we were boarding, I have the text saved. I'll send it to you. 255-minute delay.
That's a tough one.
Caused us to change airlines, which caused us to add connections, and we got there.
Okay. So is this a shout to or just an F? Just
FYI.
Oh.
So I forgot the lead when I was talking about Stanford, but my buddy Corey Hill, who I played with at Stanford, who's a mentor, best dude ever, works at Oakley. And today he brought his son. It's his birthday. He lives in Oregon, and he wanted to come to game day. And he came to game day, and as I mentioned, Corey works for Oakley. And he gave me this box, and usually he gives me sunglasses. But today, I opened the box as I was getting on my flight as Stanford was kicking off. Are you ready for this?
I don't think so. Oh, boy.
I don't think you are. Oh, wow, there's buttons on these. He gave me the Meta AI glasses.
Can you see the future?
Now I don't know what the fuck these things do, but we're going to charge them. Is that light on? Is that a light on?
Well, hold on. Wait,
you have no sweatshirt on right now.
No, I'm wearing a...
No, through these lenses, you know.
Oh, wait. What are you talking about? What are these glasses?
They could do anything. But these gave me the Nerd Nation notion. Nerd Nation was going to win today.
Well, they did.
I got a pair of AI glasses, and you don't. Watch out.
I need to wear them because can I put them on Monday so I could take a look at the card and not give out 5 losers again? I'm just going to give out favorites. Lay them all. Ohio State, give them. Lay them and laugh. Mississippi, sure. Just lay points. I'm on a heater, though. Pitt and Stanford both. There we go. 2-game winning streak.
Yeah.
I still just don't understand what I just looked at. What those glasses, what's the point of them? What do they do?
I don't know. I don't know what they do, but I got to charge them and then I'm going to use them.
Use them in what capacity?
I don't know what they do. I think they, video. I get hit a button and they video what I'm looking at, so I don't have to do it on my phone.
Cool.
They could tell me who's going to win on Friday.
That I'm interested in.
There we go. We got to charge them.
Okay. Let's see.
They are hefty.
Capture, record, interact with AI assistant, ask questions, get reminders. Use the camera as a live viewfinder. I don't know, man. I think people are just going to stop doing anything. They're just going to sit around and wear these fucking glasses and not go anywhere or do anything. And I
just took them off.
And just tell the fake bot that called them, here's my Social Security. Send me the funds for my loan. Off to the races.
Again, Rob Mullins.
Of course, the legendary Oregon AD.
Yeah. He was the first AD I ever met, and I thought they were all going to be like that.
No, that's not how.
Jimmy Stanton, great. I just hooking it up. Our guy Cheese from Shadow Creek came out. Got to see his USC Trojans lose today, but gave the experience of a lifetime. And to all the people that have texted me, while Stanford was taking the lead in the game, don't do that. Don't do that. Just wait till it's over. And the absolute president, CEO of poise keeping texted me a tree, and I'm like, don't do that. Wait till it's over.
No, I mean, that's like when we were in Vegas. If the cards are good, you don't come over and go, hey, oh, that's a good hand. King, queen. Look, Dio's got a 4. Yeah, 4, 3, 2, 3, whatever adds up to 21. It's just math. And then you just turn and you just stared mind bullets through their brain.
And we're not going to mention any names, but the lieutenant colonel of poise keeping might have lost his poise multiple times this weekend. I'm just saying.
I mean, the man that invented the term, the man who coined the phrase, the man whose picture
might have happened.
The man whose picture is on an 8x5 card with me that says "Keep your poise" as a reminder to keep my poise, lost his poise.
You were on the thread. There was poise lost earlier this weekend.
It's really important to keep your poise. Really important in life. Sometimes you lose it. Sometimes you buy an 8-foot-tall inflatable Santa. That wasn't poise. It's just my kid's cute, and he was behaving at that point. Later, he lost his poise and chucked a football out a window.
Could you say what you said when Pitt faked the punt again tonight?
When what? Oh, when
Pitt faked.
Sitting there by myself. What the fuck are we doing? Because any sane person wondered aloud the same thing. Why? For what? They won by 14. Fine. I lost my poise. I'd suggest the Dews lost his for a second as well. Then they gathered themselves, found their center, got back to neutral. All right, it's late.
Yeah.
We've talked long enough. No one, not show of hands. Not one. All right, there's Steve. For those of you out there trying to nurse home the San Diego State-San Jose game, God bless you. San Diego State does not give up many points. That much I will tell you. For those of you on UCLA, not going to get there. Washington rolling 27-0. They'll be waiting on the Ducks next week. That's a good one. Anything else you want to say on the way out?
Absolutely.
I'll give you the final word.
I hope all you fucks have a great long drive back to the East Bay, and you could suck it. The axe is back.
Happy Thanksgiving.